WIBTA if I don't tell my friend about her husband making a move on me. Tess, 41F, and I, 38F, have been friends for a few years. We met when pregnant with our girls and have remained friends ever since. Our daughters are also best friends and have a really sweet bond. Tess and I spend a ton of time together, both with and without our girls. We also sometimes do stuff with our husbands, but this isn't as frequent. That being said, I know her husband, Kyle, quite well after all this time. I've never spent one time other than a few minutes if I'm dropping my kid off or vice versa. One last thing to mention about my husband and my husband's relationship. We have a slightly out there sex life. Specifically, I'm a hot wife. I don't need any opinions on this. We've been together for almost 15 years, we have a great, loving relationship, and this is just something we dabble in occasionally. Essentially, what happened was that Kyle brought my daughter home after she had been with them for dinner. His daughter came too, and as the girls were getting upset about saying goodbye, he kind of invited himself in. Looking back, this was obviously weird, but Kyle is also the kind of dad who doesn't say no, so I was just mildly irritated about it because I wanted my daughter to wind down for a bit before her bedtime. Whilst the girls were playing, Kyle seemed to get an indication that I was interested in him and tried to kiss me. When I told him to get the fuck off, he said he'd found my profile on a hookup site and so knew I was into that kind of thing, and then said some gross stuff about how my husband would be pleased to know he was taking care of me while he was away. I'm so disgusted not only with how he's behaved, but also that he's seen compromising photos of me. He identified it was me from a tattoo I have. Now, if I thought there would be any kind of repercussion for Kyle, I would be telling Tess exactly what happened. But Kyle's had multiple affairs already. I'm certain that whilst this might strain their relationship, she isn't going to leave him. But I don't see how our friendship could survive that. And honestly, that would be so awful for our girls. I'm also worried Kyle would tell Tess about my profile. We live in a small town, so of course, everyone is in everyone's business. Whilst I don't think Tess would maliciously gossip about me, she might confide in other friends, and I wouldn't put it past Kyle to spread it around. I really don't want to be gossiped about. Even more so, I don't want my kid to hear about this. She's too little right now, but I know things like this linger. Once you get branded with a scarlet letter, it doesn't go away. Kyle is an awful person, and while I really want him to pay for betraying Tess, I don't want to hurt myself and our daughters in the process. My husband thinks we should just try to distance ourselves from them, and I'm inclined to agree, but I feel so guilty.